Hello guys, this is Mike from McProgramming.org. Today we're going to talk about polymorphism. That is a pretty intimidating word when you come across it for the first time, but it's one of the main concepts of object-oriented programming. Polymorphism, if you break down the word, poly means many, morphism means forms or changing, so it pretty much means having many forms. And what this means, and it has to do with inheritance. So I'm going to create two classes, one that extends the other. So I'm going to make a vehicle class, and I'm going to make a car class that extends vehicle class. And like I said, down here you can go to the superclass and write vehicle, the class you're extending, and it types it in for you automatically in Eclipse. So let's give this a method. I'm just going to say public void description, for lack of finding a better word to use. I'm just going to print out a simple print statement, and it's going to say I am a vehicle, and I am going to override that method. And here you go down to source. If you don't feel like typing this out yourself, go to override implement methods, click on the method you want to override, which is description from the vehicle class, and say OK. And if you just left this alone, it would print out the same exact thing in vehicle. It would call the superclass and call the method description. But that's not what we want. We want to, the point of overriding it is to write your own new method with inside of it. So system.out.println, let's say I am a car. Okay. And we're also going to give a method that is not in vehicle, that is just in car, so I can show you easily some things that polymorphism can and cannot do. So right now we're just going to type something out. Public void, I don't know, 4 tires. This is more specific to cars because most cars have 4 tires, where a vehicle could have, 18-wheeler has 18 wheels. So not every vehicle has 4 tires. So we're going to put this in the more descriptive class called car, and we're just going to sysout Control Shift in Eclipse, and we're going to say I have 4 tires. Now let's go and start instantiating these objects. So let's instantiate a vehicle. I'm just going to say V1, and that's just going to stand for vehicle equals new vehicle. And this is plain old just creating an object, a vehicle object. Remember, this is the reference type, this is the reference variable, and it points to creating this object. So let's do the same for a car. We'll say C1. I'll type car1, just I didn't feel like typing out vehicle. I guess just for the sake of learning, let's see, put everything out long term. So we're going to say new car. Alright, so if we said vehicle1 dot, and we got all the methods that are available to us, the only ones that I wrote that aren't extended from the object class is this vehicle1 description. But if I wanted to do car1 dot, I have description, and I also have 4 tires. So it prints out all these methods. So now let's get into what polymorphism is. Polymorphism is, let's say that we wanted the reference type of vehicle, and we're going to call this vehicle2. I could point that to the variable car1 like that, and now it's pointing to a car object. So let's see what methods are available here. Vehicle2 dot. You don't have the 4tires method. You have the description method, and it's saying it's from the vehicle class. Let's just print this out. But it's saying I am a car. If it was from the vehicle class, it would have said I am a vehicle, but it's printing out the method in a car, which is I am a car. So what's happening right now is I have a reference type right here. The variable type is vehicle. So it takes what a vehicle is, and I'm pointing it to the car object, but we can only use the methods that are from the vehicle class. So that's polymorphism, is changing into a car, yet it can't use the methods that aren't from the vehicle class. And you don't always have to point it to an already existing car. We could have also said equals new car. That's perfectly legal. The best practice is to have the more general class, I guess the parent class, or how many levels up in the hierarchy. This must be higher in the hierarchy than this for it to be polymorphism. If this was higher than this, you would start getting into casting issues, and it's not a very pretty sight, and it's not very useful. So think of it as calling from the parent, creating a parent class or a parent variable type, and you can call it any subclass that you want. There's also a way of having a type from an interface and calling an object. Now let me create an interface real quick. So I'm going to be more specific than vehicle. I guess I can say machine, and we'll give this a method public void print machine. Remember, in an interface, you don't instantiate the method. You just declare the method header and put a semicolon there. And then you go to the class that you want to implement it. And you say implements machine. And go underneath vehicle and go to add unimplemented methods. So it will automatically put this in there for you, print machine. And let's just say system.out.println I am a machine. Okay, so now let's create a machine reference type. I'm going to say machine1 equals new vehicle. So let's see what methods are available for us. Machine1 dot. We have the print machine method. Let's see what happens. Well, it did exactly what you expected it to do, but pretty much it's creating a new vehicle class, and it's only using the methods that are available from the interface. So as you can tell, we didn't have the description method available to us. And that's pretty much the core of what polymorphism is being able to change the reference type to the object it points to. And we can also create a method down here. Let's say public static void, let's see, print, or let's say, what am I? And it's going to take in, let's say it takes in a vehicle. And what we're going to say is vehicle dot description, because for each of these classes, the description pretty much says what it is. I am a machine, or I am a vehicle, and I am a car. So we're going to say vehicle.description. So let's see what we can pass into this method. What am I? Well, up here we can pass in vehicle1 because obviously it takes in vehicles. Can we pass in car1, which is a car class? Well, there's no errors, so it looks like we can. And get rid of this. Yes. So even though it's taking in a vehicle, because car is a subclass of it, it can take in the car object, and it will print out the car's method, I am a car. Well, let's see about vehicle2, which has vehicle as the reference type and points to a car object. So let's see, vehicle1. Oops. Alright, run it, say OK, and it says I am a vehicle. So even though this is a car, wait a minute, let's say vehicle2. Okay, so now it's printing out I am a car. So it went to the override method and printed out I am a car because it's pointing to the car class. And that's polymorphism. Is, like I said, I'm going to repeat it again. Probably said it 100 times this video. The reference type can instantiate an object of itself or any subclass of itself, or this can even be an interface that instantiates an object from the class that implements it, or a subclass from that class. So let's actually test that real quick and see if we could create a new car. Yeah, so you can say machine1 dot. Well, it doesn't really give you much. There it is. So let's see what happens. Alright, so when it says print machine, it's saying I am a machine, and it gets passed down through the inheritance. So that's polymorphism. Probably a pretty long video. I'm not sure what the time is, but the next video will be on abstract classes, and that'll wrap up this object-oriented concepts. So thank you for watching, and please subscribe.